So let's talk about the week in games. And big thing this week was, of course, EA and Battlefront and all of that goodness. And boy, was it a lot of goodness. So Star Wars Battlefront, even from E3, there were a few warning signs, shall we say, about it maybe being pay to win and the loot boxes and stuff like that. And then the open beta basically confirmed a lot of fears that yes, the progression doesn't feel great. It seems like it's built to support some pay to win and favor and favor a lot favor people who have spent money. And that's a massive problem. And everybody voiced their concerns. EA changed things a little bit. I think they removed like some of the most powerful items from the RNG loot box stuff. That was about it. Doesn't really fix the problem. Clearly, because somebody was like, seriously, I paid $80. You paid $80 for this game. What the fuck? I guess he lives in Australia. To have Vader locked. So Darth Vader's locked, and somebody did all the maths. And found out that it would take 40 hours to unlock Darth Vader, because I believe it costs 60,000 credits, and that's without spending credits on anything else. You're not allowed to spend credits on anything else, but it would take you 40 hours. And then EA went ahead and got probably the only award that this game is going to get, the most downvoted comment on of all time on Reddit. With the intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment. I think that was the main thing. Pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. That was the main thing that really pissed people off, I think. It selected initial values based upon data from the open beta. I doubt you did. Other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch, among other things, looking at average per player credit earn rates on a daily basis. Clearly you're not looking close enough, otherwise you'd realise this is taking way too fucking long. Ensure that players of challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course attainable via gameplay. I don't care if it's attainable via gameplay. I'm like, oh, but you can get through gameplay. Yeah, 40 hours of it. I can finish Horizon Zero Dawn in that time. I can get through maybe about half of Persona 5 and still feel way more rewarded. I finished Near Automata. Previous downvote was like a 20k, and it was an ironic downvote. This kind of comment, great. Yeah, I beat Near Automata in less time than that. I felt quite rewarded, and that was getting, what was it, 4 or 5 different endings. That was pretty rewarding. You can beat multiple indie games. You could probably beat like 4 indie games. Probably more than that, actually, because there's quite a few short ones out there. You could probably beat like 6 indie games and feel very rewarded in 40 hours. They appreciate the candid feedback, though, and the passion the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit, on forums, and across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor the community feedback and update everyone as soon as often as we can. Well, everybody flipped their shit, so it's at minus 676,000 points, which is just impressive more than anything. It's a load of shit, obviously. Everybody knows pride and accomplishment. Nobody feels pride or accomplishment. So they responded to this. They decided to lower how much it cost by 75%. So I believe it was at 60,000, and then it dropped to 15,000. So they made a big deal about that in their update. What they didn't mention was some rewards, such as finishing the campaign you get credits for. They also reduced that by 75%. You used to get 20,000 for beating 20,000 credits for beating the campaign. Now you get 5,000. So in the end, it doesn't even matter. Just you didn't change much then, did you? Of course, the general credit earnings for some multiplayer stuff is about the same, I believe. But who cares? You still reduced a bunch of... Oh, it's so stupid. It just shows that, like, Okay, yeah, we want to do this, but whoa, we don't want to push it too far, otherwise you might never consider these delicious loot boxes we've got. Please buy into our bullshit gambling. Pull that fucking lottery lever thing. Wow, that was a lot of incorrect words. Lottery lever. Casino machine thing, coin machine. What do they call it? Slot machine. Yeah, pull that slot machine lever. And see what comes out the other side. Who knows? You can get more pulls of it if you just give us some more money. Lottery lever mechanism. Yeah. This is why I just buy Japanese games. Hit the lever! Hit the lever! Yeah, because to be fair, yeah. Japanese games, a lot of them don't have that. No, Automata didn't, Persona 5 didn't, Neo doesn't. They just have a shit ton of costume DLC, but hey, at least it's just cosmetics, and because there's this thing, I've had a problem even when it has been cosmetics, it still rubbed me the wrong way, especially when they're in loot boxes where you're not guaranteed as to what you get. Like, I remember when we used to complain about just microtransactions, and oh god, like, you wanted me to pay for this? I used to just be able to get a cheat code, but I never really complained about it too much. Now the problem is, you don't even know what you're getting, it's just all random, you have no idea. You just gotta hit the lever! So yeah, so just keep buying Konami games, you know, all those lovely Japanese games instead. So now, the latest update is today we turned off in-game purchases. We won, right? The game's built. Few input. Read the full update though. Read the full update as we approach our worldwide launch, because all of this was got from people who got in through EA Access. It's clear that many of you feel there are still challenges in the design. No shit. We've heard the concerns about potentially giving players unfair advantages, and we've heard that this is overshadowing an otherwise great game. Not everybody has been saying it's otherwise great. Most people are saying it's otherwise alright, kind of average. Very few people I've heard are saying it's great, especially the single player. This was never our intention, sorry we didn't get this right. And to be fair, I do believe the general manager at DICE, it's a bit cut off there, but it's from the general manager at DICE. I don't believe it was his intention, because I bet they didn't even want it in the game to... they didn't want it in the game to begin with, because they're DICE, they're developers, they don't really think about that stuff. It's EA who inject that shit, just really stuff it in there. That's what they do, and that's their job, because they can't just make a decent amount of money, a really good amount of money, in fact, because it's Star Wars. They have to make all of the money. If they're not making all of the money, then what's the point? Heard you loud and clear, so we're turning off all in-game purchases. We will now spend more time listening, adjusting, balancing, and tuning. Good. This means that the option to purchase crystals in the game is now offline, and all progression will be earned through gameplay. The ability to purchase crystals in-game will become available at a later date. Only after we've made changes to the game. We'll share more details as we work through this. Yeah. It's temporary. This is the problem. It's temporary. And of course it's temporary. It's just damage control. It's damage control as they approach the worldwide launch. He even mentions it. As we approach the worldwide launch, we realise we done fucked up, and we want you to buy the game, and then we'll put the microtransactions in later for the people who are still playing, who are more likely to buy them at that point, because they're the ones who are dedicated enough to be the whales of the game, as this disgusting industry would like to refer to them as. It's really awful. People are like, yes, we won. It's like, yeah, it's great that we can make our voices heard and that it does have an effect. And this should go to prove that, and that's wonderful. Does it mean you should buy Battlefront 2? Absolutely not. Fuck them. Fuck EA for even considering putting it in the first place and thinking that this pay-to-win bullshit was a good idea. Like I said, I thought it was bad when it was costumes and stuff because of the loot boxes. And a lot of people were just fine with it, even if it was just side upgrades or things that were like better for certain playstyles. Most people were fine with it. I wasn't, but most people seemed to be. And then EA just has to push it just that little bit further, so finally, basically everybody is in agreement. Fuck EA and fuck them for doing this. thank you, people, for finally, like, catching on and being like, hey, this company's not being very nice. No, they're not. They don't care about you. They only care about your money. And you know why they did this? So apparently somebody, I think some big, higher up at Disney, might be CEO or somebody like that, somebody really high up at Disney, made a call to EA concerning Battlefront 2, and then a few hours later, we get this. So they Japanese does care about me. Yeah. So it seems like EA probably weren't even going to do that, but then Disney were like, hey, you're really shitting all over that franchise that we own and very kindly let you make all of the games for, as stupid as that decision was. Please don't disgrace the Star Wars brand name or the Battlefront name with this bullshit. Take it out, at least for now, then have it later. Which is really, it's just bad taste in everyone's mouth. I don't think you should buy the game. I don't think you should buy it, because plus, when I even played it in the open beta, I didn't find it that fun. It was alright, it was better than the first one, but still not, like, amazing. It looks really pretty, that's about it. Just like the first one, it looks beautiful, it sounds great, to kind of trick you into thinking that you're playing a really good game. But in my opinion, you're not. Whatever. Oh yeah. Yeah, they should have never given exclusive rights to any company, let alone EA. EA, it's in the game if you pay for it. So, another aside bit off of this, which is just wonderful, because clearly these adverts weren't made in the last couple of days, they've probably been made a while back, is this new, so StarCraft 2 has gone free to play. And this is their advert for it.
Another early morning, huh?
Dad, I'm getting wrecked. Can't I buy some stronger units?
Buy units? Son, we don't talk like that in this house. Come with me.
Your grandfather didn't give his life just so his grandson could pay money to be good at something.
But, Dad, Grandpa's still alive.
And your mother. She wanted to bring you into a world where you'd be judged by your elite skills, not by what you spend. Son, your family's legacy awaits.
Cool. Did you bedazzle Mom's engagement ring?
StarCraft 2, the legendary competitive game, is now free to play.
Yep, that's the advert. And they couldn't have released it at a better time when all of this stuff is going about how, like, pay to win. StarCraft 2, one of the most balanced games in my recollection, that is dedicated to not giving any single person an advantage. Everybody is on the same playing field, unless you're playing Protoss, in which case you have a huge advantage and you can go fuck yourself. Anyway, you know, just fantastic. And they even like kind of doubled down on it on Twitter, saying number of hours it takes to earn the full StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty campaign, 0. Number of hours before you can play any Corp commander in StarCraft 2, 0. Number of pay-to-win mechanics in StarCraft 2, 0. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I love them. I love them for doing it. Because it's sad that this is touted as a good and positive thing nowadays, because it shouldn't be. It should be expected, but it's not. And hey, StarCraft 2, it's free to play. You should get on it, even if you're not super into RTS games. I wasn't. Still not really, but I loved StarCraft 2 so much, and part of that was the campaign, and it's free to play now. Just play the Wings of Liberty campaign, man. It's really good, and it's free. Yeah, dude, I wasn't. Wings of Liberty campaign has a great story, slowly introduces you to things, and it got me into it. It was so good, and it got me into it enough to the point where I got really into the multiplayer and got like to the top of Gold League, which is still not great, but God was I satisfied because I got there on my elite skills and I didn't pay for it. Fantastic. Good job, Blizzard. Your marketing department, for StarCraft 2 at least, deserve a raise. And then, so a side story. After all of this came out, somebody, another side story, God, this has a lot of threads. This guy said up to 7 death threats, over 1,600 individual personal attacks now, and yes, for legal reasons I'm keeping track. And why, you might ask? Because of an unpopular feature in a game. So this guy claims to work for EA and he's getting all these death threats because of the bullshit in Battlefront 2. Which I was like, of course you are, because the internet and people are terrible and stupid. Yeah. So, turns out, this guy doesn't work for EA. They contacted him and he removed any trace of EA from his profile. Kotaku doing legit good journalism here, actually looking into things instead of just straight up reporting them, which is great. And it's so weird, because he's been really dedicated to this for a while. EA Games has completely given up on all. No, not true. We've done no such thing. You need to not to worry, man. Bro, I work at EA. I literally get dozens of hate mail messages every week, several a day. Where's the company of responsibility, inclusiveness? That's what we're doing. This is my favourite. It's also hilarious that I'm getting shit about wasting my life at EA from a kid who lives at home too. Who still lives at home too. Irony is strong with this one. It's now even more ironic because he doesn't work at EA and he's wasting his life pretending he works at EA. What's he doing? It's really confusing because it's not like this great parody account, Kazurai, who says, I can't believe anyone on Twitter would pretend to be working for a company in the video game industry. It's not a joke account. He's just legitimately pretending to be. Just started at EA a few months ago. This was in 2015. Can't take him any time off until November. But I'd hit my 4th year here at EA. Like, why? I'm so confused as to why anybody would do this. So sorry. So they cross-reference and stuff and contacted EA and they're like, no, we don't have any recollection of any records of this guy working for us. Digging, talking to EA. Nobody named Sean who fits with your profile. The things you've said. Do you really work at EA? If so, stay off the record here. Tell me your name. We talk about that. He didn't get a reply, but he did change everything. Looks like they've got an update here following the story. A whole lot of reactions. Acquaintances from EA. 2 developers noting. Different social media page. Okay, problem was 3 of the photos I've been posting on Visceral Games' Twitter feed. It's so easy stealing photos and pretending. Oh god. Yeah, so it seems like he was a focus tester and got this. And that's how we got this photo, and maybe he just got way too into the game. Yeah, it's in the game, and so is he apparently. He was just really into it. Want to show me? I found out tweet. As far as I could tell, there'd be nobody named Sean at the QA department whose information matched with Big Sean 66. It's fucking hilarious. And this got reported, this death threat thing got reported by BBC, CNBC, Vice, USA Today, Yahoo. It's great. Everybody, because of course the internet. So because it's a very believable thing. That's the thing. It's sad that it's believable, but it is a very believable thing of a developer being like, yeah, look at all this hate that I'm getting, and so in that sense I get why, but it's really sad. And I hope they've corrected it. Let's have a look. Is there an update? Here we go. Developer may not work. Set for the story. Fair enough. Yeah, it remains relevant. Whatever. BBC, you guys better have updated it, otherwise you're a disgrace to my country. It doesn't look like they have. Doubts have been cast of the authenticity of this claim. Okay, that's... And does that link to the Kotaku art? It does. Okay, fair enough. Good. It's just such a ridiculous side story. It's so silly. Oh god, just like Battlefront 2. Why? Battlefront 2 is stupid. Anyway, so that's Battlefront 2. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Don't support EA. Fuck them. They also bought out Respawn Entertainment and are probably going to butch Titanfall 3, and really sad to see that happen, but we know it's going to happen at some point. So yeah.